everyone, it's Sharon, Recreation Programmer for Child, Youth, and Family at the City of Burlington, and today I am bringing you a project that is good for pretty much any age. This is something that I already have completed. I just thought I would share it with you because I really enjoy it and I think it's quite beautiful. We're going to make some jewelry frames, and this is a way for you to showcase your jewelry as well as make it a little bit easier for you to find that favorite piece. You're going to need an old frame. You're going to need a frame that you're not using. Wood obviously is going to work the best so that you can make the modifications that you want to it so that this will work. This is great for ones where maybe the glass has broken and you weren't really sure what you were going to do with it. Got a great use for it. My mom grabbed some frames from, I believe, either a thrift store or a garage sale for pretty cheap, and she was lovely enough to give them to me so that I could do this project. So you need an empty frame. You're going to need some sort of paint if you want to paint it. If you like the frame the way it is, you don't have to do anything with it. If it doesn't have string or you want to put something else on it, you're going to need something of that nature. This is ribbon, which has just been tied into the loops. You can use wire if you have it. You can use yarn. You can use some twine, whatever you happen to have in your home. The other thing that you're going to need is cup hooks. I keep calling them U-hooks. Apparently they're called cup hooks. These are the screw-in variety, and I got them at a hardware store. And you can get quite a number in a little package for not too much money. So first step is that you are going to paint this. I happened to dry brush this one because I liked the way that the wood grain looked, and you can see it through the dry brushing really well, but you can paint it completely. You could decoupage on it, so you could add patterning, you could draw on it, you could use Sharpies, whatever you happen to like. If you have something that has a gilt frame, so it has a pattern in it that you really want to showcase, you can dry brush and then do a wipe, which will then leave one color in the nooks and crannies, and then you'll have a different color on the top. What you would do is you would take your the color that you want to show through, and that is going to be your base color. You're going to paint that on first, and then you are going to take your second color. After that first color is dry, you're going to paint it over, and you are going to then wipe it, and it will leave that second color in the nooks and crannies, and your initial color will show on the top. Looks quite lovely if you want to do that. Then you need to figure out which way you want it to hang. I have this one horizontally. You can do it vertically. This just happened to give me a lot more space for me to hang up my jewelry. I measured out an inch across the top, an inch apart for each of these U-hooks, and then screwed them in. It takes a little bit of effort, but it does work. You potentially, if you had a drill, could use a very, very small pilot hole so that you could make it a little bit easier. Once it's ready, you're going to hang up your jewelry. You can hang it however you want. Some pieces obviously may be bigger than others. This is a fairly large piece, so it kind of covers some of those hooks, but it doesn't really matter because you can still access it. You have to decide whether you mind if your jewelry hangs over. I don't, so this obviously is hanging outside of the frame, but that doesn't matter to me. I like it regardless. I also, because I have a number of necklaces, will end up having two on a hook, but it's still, they don't tend to get tangled, so it's really easy to grab one or the other, and you just pop them off, grab what you need, and then put them back on. So really, really simple, but really fun way to show off your jewelry, make it easier for you to find, showcase it, and it looks a little bit like artwork. Number 2. So your second option, I happen to have a number of watches. And I wanted to display them as well because they take up a lot of space on a dresser or vanity if you don't have somewhere else to store them. So this is another old frame. Again, I dry brushed it. I had to put in some eye hooks to hang this the way that I wanted to. Again, you can get them at a hardware store and you just screw them in. Another piece of ribbon at the back. I'm using those U-hooks, the little cup hooks again across the top, and measured an inch to give it the space that I wanted. This is a piece of square wood doweling, again, hardware store. Cut it to the shape and size that I wanted and then did some dry brush work on it so that it was the color I want. I still need to add my hooks underneath. I haven't done that, but just to give me some more space. And I had just measured sort of where I needed it to be so that things would hang nicely. This obviously works best for watches that are in sort of two pieces. If you have a connected watch that just stays in a loop, that doesn't work as well for those. There are other ways that you can display those if you want. This is just a great way for these. This is a necklace watch, so that's why it's hanging here. And I do have one looped one that I am able to hang, but that just happens to be the way that it is. The rest of them I have displayed a different way, but this is a great way to, again, display. You could do bracelets, you could do more necklaces. I happen to use this one for watches. My third option, this is quite large. It doesn't need to be. Again, this is a blank frame. I have dry brushed, and then I have taken a piece of screen. So this is window screen. This is like a plasticky window screen. You don't really want metal because it could damage your earrings. This one is like a, I'm not sure what they would call it, but it's kind of plasticky, or it's at least coated. So that you can get at a hardware store. I've just used a staple gun and stapled it to the back of the frame, and then have hung up my earrings, and they're quite easy to hang up because they just loop through. Oh dear. They loop through the holes in this particular screening. It works obviously best for earrings that loop. It doesn't work super well for studs because you'd have to keep pulling it out from the wall. And then if you have hoop earrings, it wouldn't work for that. However, you could lower all of these earrings, put some more hooks, some of the those U hooks along the top so that you could hang hoops, and then all of your earrings would be displayed below that. I obviously have lots of space and I may end up making that change to this. But for now, everything just pops in there quite nicely and looks quite lovely. It will save you some space because these will hang on the wall so that they're out of the way and that you have all of that additional vanity space if that's where they were living. It keeps them from getting tangled up, and it looks a lot like a piece of art, and it's quite lovely when it's on the wall. So this is a great project to try, especially if you have a frame laying around that you're not really sure what you want to do with. Don't forget to live and play every day. Come back and visit our website as we have new material pretty regularly, and we will see you next time. Bye.